initial plan for it was we wanted to be able to see kind of the interrelation of pages and who's watching what pages, so that if a certain group of people are watching a certain group of pages, and there's somebody that is watching a lot of pages that this group is watching but isn't watching a particular page, especially a particular page that has a lot of action on it, you can kind of suggest to them to watch that page. So we sort of started going down that route of figuring out who's watching what, and kind of figuring out where the clusters of those watches were, and that's sort of where this started. So you can see here, this is all fake data that I made this morning. So it's, you know, user A, user B, page 1, page 2, page 3, that kind of thing. It's not any actual real information, but so just kind of tracking the data, be able to see pages that have a lot of what we call pending watches. So that being that there on page 79 there are 9 people watching it, and 8 of them haven't seen the most recent change. So you're also able to kind of identify pages that are not being reviewed very much. In the present version of it, we also have user watch statistics. That would, for things on the open internet, you'd want to be able to disable that, of course, for privacy's sake. But again, we're in a corporate setting, so we don't have any privacy anyway. But anyway, we had this plan to go and do the, you know, being able to suggest pages to watch and that kind of thing. We got kind of stuck when we made this visualization of different watches, and this is kind of an idea of what it looks like. The orange dots around the outside are people. Again, this is all fake data, and real ones don't look exactly like this, but people, and the blue dots are pages, and any lines connecting a person to a page indicates that that person is watching that page. You can see some of the lines are gray, some of them are red. The red ones indicate that the person hasn't seen the most recent version of the page. So you can do some things with this, like, you know, I can hover over one of them. That's page 128 right there. This page that has a lot of people that haven't seen it is page 79. So you can, we could obviously make the visualization a lot better, and I think Simon might be able to help us with that, since he seems to be good at this. But you can get kind of an idea of where the issues are. Did you save the pages yet, Darren?
Just give me 1 second.
So Darren's going to edit a few pages, and you'll just see how it looks different after there's been a few edits. You good? So keep a mental image of that. And you see there's a lot more red there, you know, which might indicate to you that you know, people aren't, you have people that aren't reviewing pages anymore, kind of thing. So anyway, this is, again, is fake data. It's very evenly distributed. Pretty much everybody has the same amount of watches, which is probably not realistic. Most of you probably have a handful of people that do a lot of the work, and then you've got a lot of viewers. So I'm going to show you just some screenshots of what our data actually looked like, and we've fixed this problem since then. So this is what we looked like when we first discovered that we had a problem. So things you can get from this are, one, there were a lot of pages that people hadn't seen the most recent version. They hadn't gone to their watch list and viewed it. One thing there is the red lines are actually darker than the gray lines, so it makes it look a little worse than it really is, but it makes it easy to see where the problems are. Other thing is, you can see there's some people that just, they're entirely red, and maybe you can't tell that from this far zoomed out, but so we could kind of identify individuals where there was an issue. Again, that's something that would be you know, privacy concerns in some settings, but it's not a problem for us. And then lastly, you also can see that there's three pretty major clusters around three people. Those people are Darren, myself, and Scott, who couldn't make it. And then there's a few other people that have fairly good sized clusters around them. Those are pages that they are solely watching. Nobody else is watching them, so it kind of gives you an idea of we have some work to do to kind of encourage more people to be watching those pages, which is important because that's the entire reason or entire rationale behind accountability in a wiki. You need to have lots of people reviewing changes. You can't just have one, or you need to have certain people that are reviewing everything, and that's not the model that we've set up. Within our organization, we've tried to make it so the wiki is being reviewed by our entire group, 50 some odd people, and then some if anybody on the outside wants to do that too. So again, anyway, we identified this problem, and since then I unfortunately don't have a picture of what it looks like now, but there's a lot less red. You have to trust me on that one. So since then we've kind of worked with different ways of trying to encourage people to be better about reviewing changes. I have to show you a couple others here. These are two other wikis that I have the data on. You can see this one is, can't see it very well, but this one is very centric to one person. As is this one, though a little less so. My guess is a lot of wikis are probably that way. And one other thing, here it is without the kind of forced structure of the orange dots around the outside. Kind of makes it's interesting to look at. Maybe put it on your wall, but I don't think it gives you as much of a good, clean idea of what you're trying to understand. So anyway, the reason I'm standing up here is one, just if you're interested in this and you want to look at it, I have the code here at the top. Feel free to fork it or make suggestions or whatever. The other thing is, getting back to the original thing, the original plan for this, that we wanted to be able to kind of suggest people to be able to watch certain pages, which is evident that we need that because these pages here and these pages here, there are probably people that care about those. So how do we get them to want to look at those pages? So getting back to that original concept, proposing for the Create Camp tomorrow that we could potentially attack that issue and see if there's a way to build upon this extension or some other thing to allow us to accomplish that.